Welcome back to another lesson, another blessing. Hello again, you all. Hello, family. Hello, Oaktown family, Oakland, California. Hello. I am going to take off in the area today with a topic called domestic side effects. Before we get started, I'd like to request from you, as always, to put a like on my channel. I request from you to push the subscribe button and join this wonderful family, this wonderful growing family, and this thing that I call the answer, right? And I call myself the answer to these difficult questions that are often asked and never answered. So I am the answer, right? I am the one that you would want to sit at your table, to sit at the board meeting to discuss these matters, the one that goes out into the field and goes out into the tribe to find out what's going on, the one that's willing to take the burden for the tribe without ever taking a bribe. So again, push the subscribe button, push like, and share it with your fellow friends and associates, right? So you can be, so they all and you all can become part of this wonderful family that I call Domestic Issues with the Counselor, Mr. James Horton. Domestic Issues with the Counselor, Mr. James Horton. Okay, let's go. Okay, it says domestic side piece. You wonder, what is a domestic side? I apologize. Domestic side effects. Right, we got all kind of side effects, man, from taking substances, from taking prescribed medications, from taking medications that will treat an illness or will treat a cancer, and they happen to be many side effects. Side effects like even when my mom passed, before she passed, she had to take chemo for the cancer she had, and she lost her hair. That is a side effect. So there are many, many side effects upon taking something to fix something, right? To come up with some kind of solution for what one feels they want to do, or what place one wants to get out of, So be careful. Domestic side effects. He says a side effect is a secondary undesirable effect of a drug or a medical condition. With the high level of crime and violence across the country, experts are now questioning the relationship with cannabis smoking and the side effects of crime and violence from smoking weed, or what some call medical marijuana. Remember that? Studies say using marijuana can cause clinical depression or worsen the symptoms of a mental disorder that you may have already had. Researchers have shown anger associated with cannabis use can occur shortly after intake or as a symptom of marijuana withdrawal. This paper describes people who are known as side effects, right? It also describes people that are known as side effects, right? Our friends, our partners, the group we want to associate ourselves in, right? And we're side effects most of the time in a negative way, because the whole thing was about being negative instead of positive. It says known as side effects, who affect the lives of others in positive ways and in negative ways. Side effects or side pieces are known to co-sign the unhealthy choices of others. Please answer the following questions, right? Please answer the following questions, right? Number one says, domestic side effect. Are you effective or ineffective when it comes to building up the lives of others or tearing down the lives of others? Are you effective or ineffective? Now, you can be fully effective in both areas. I'm hoping that your plight and your mission is, I pray that your plight and your mission is positive, because you get nothing from nothing, right? And you get negativity back that you put out. So I'm hoping that your plight and your mission is on a positive level. All right, number 2, domestic side effects. When you're in the act of smoking, drinking, or blowing, are you in the act because of the effects of knowing or because of the effects of not knowing? Are you in the act of doing all this because you know the end results of what it can bring, or you know it's going to bring on a certain level of a certain high, you know it's going to push your shyness or your half-heartedness into a place where you can be much more bolder. You can have much more heart to go out there and kidnap somebody, do a home invasion. What is this something that you need to become something? Is one must ask. I remember one of the OGs saying to me many years back. He said, "The absence of a half-hearted man is better than his presence." The absence of a half-hearted man. It would be better, he said, to be absent if you half-hearted than to be present, right? It would be better to be absent. It's better to not even go into this so-called mission if you have a half a heart, because there's a lot more to taking on stuff. There's a lot more than bulldozing someone's door and going in and taping someone's mouth up and robbing them. And it's a lot more to it. There's a consequence to it. And there's a consequence that many half-hearted people don't want to accept. Many people often, once getting caught or captured or arrested, many people, first person they seem to call on, and it's kind of out of order. I think the first person should be God. But the first person often is one's mother. Mama, they got me in here. They said I did this, but but mama, I didn't do it. Mama, I didn't do it. But now the mama knows that the child has a problem telling the truth. Mama knows. She's been knowing this child since birth. So she really knows that the person is lying, and she knows when they're lying. Right? She also knows when they're lying. She knows the tone, she knows the expression, she knows the body language, she knows everything. And when she keeps asking them over and over, or each time she gets a chance to talk to her son or daughter, the story changes. And they begin to say, I didn't say that, you did say that. On October so-and-so date, you came out with this story. Hopefully you're not telling the arresting officers all these different stories, because they're going to start taking pieces from each story and make it into the real story it really was, right? Okay, number 3, domestic side effects. In most committed programs or processes you're known to involve yourself in, are you known to be effective inside the center, or are you always ineffective when you're working outside the effective center, right? Domestic side effect. In most committed programs or processes you're known to involve yourself in, are you known to be effective inside the center, or are you always ineffective when you're working outside of the affected center, right? Many times we can see, and sometimes we can see that we really don't have the effect that we want to have being on the outside. We'll be much more effective if we're allowed to come on in the inside. If we can work our way into the inside, if the parties or the groups or the organizations were to allow the door to open to allow us in, we can be that missing link and that missing piece. But many times, what we're doing on the outside doesn't always, or many times, have the effect that it can have if one is allowed to be on the inside. All right, number 4, domestic side effect. In most relationships, is your one side of you known as your weaker, less side, or is your relationship partner side known as the bigger, best side, right? Domestic side effect. In most of your relationships, is your one side of you known as the weaker, less side, or is your relationship partner side known as the better, best side? I believe and I feel deeply, right, about partnership. Partnership, right, and a lot of organizationships have started in the home. I mean, there was a lot of decent upbringing and raising and starting in the home with a mama and a daddy, and with some kind of structure. They were structured even at a time where people ate uh, 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 breakfast, lunch, and maybe dinner at the table together. It was always a form of a meeting even, right? But you definitely need the two heads. You definitely need mama, daddy. You definitely need those positioning people, which work with a balance with each other, so the children will grow up with balance, right? And it's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, we need that other piece. It was interesting. I went to a service one time and I heard a pastor describing how it was in the very beginning when they talk about in the first book of the Bible, in Genesis, they were speaking about uh, God saying it's good when He made the light from the darkness. God said it's good when He made the sun shine over the earth. God said it's good when He made the fish in the ocean and all that. And He kept going and kept going. And it was somewhere, I believe, don't quote me or misquote me. It's 2:14, Genesis 2:14. It spoke and said it was not good for the man to live alone. So it was interesting, right? Then, as they've gone on and as the creation of woman evolved, it was said that she was a helpmate, a partner, even, right? Because there obviously was some help needed in the structure of man, because he was not meant to just be here alone, right? And wandering around, watching the animals have their relationships and all this kind of stuff. The chickens over there kicking it and playing their music in the cut. But he was here by himself. And so loneliness is a detrimental thing. Being all by yourself can be detrimental and real lonely and feeling incomplete. So they have a better half, man. We must give our better half credit, man. And if we start giving them credit, we'll start having less arguments, less confrontation, less fights, right? Because we're acknowledging what a person is doing for us. We're being thankful for you all cooking those meals for us. It's a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing. So moving right along, right? Moving right along. Number 5. Domestic side affects selfish parent. Whenever you're getting high, do you affect the high, or does the high affect you and your children? Domestic side affects selfish parent. When you're getting high, do you affect the high, or does the high affect you and your children? Many people believe, and it's easy to be in denial. They have touches and stories, even again in one of the books or several of the books of the Bible, saying that saying things like it was so and so's fault. It was so and so's fault. If you didn't send that other half, if you didn't take my rib out of my body, things wouldn't have went like this. I wouldn't have went over there and ate that poison or smoked that poison or blew that poison. I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for right? I wouldn't have robbed that train if it wasn't for right? And so we make excuses and stuff like that, right? Even in the area of being a parent, right? We say, oh, my kids is fine because I buy them clothes all the time. They never miss a Christmas and all this sort of stuff. And everybody don't even believe in Christmas. And then even Christmas has its areas of being a lie. Did a real big lighter than white guy really come down the chimney? In our home, we didn't have a chimney. We stayed in apartment complexes, right? And so, it's just like, why would you tell your kids that this big fat dude came down and buy your clothes? Why would you think that you would remain or continue to get respect if you're telling a child a lie as so? Tell them you bought the present. Tell them that you are Santa Claus, right? Tell them your real name even. You don't have to come up with no street name, no code name or nothing like that. Tell them the truth, right? Okay. Number 6, domestic side effect. When you're communicating with others, are you known to always be affected by what other people say, or are you known to affect people and their feelings by what you say? Domestic side effect. When you're communicating with others, are you known to always be affected by what other people say to you? Or are you known to affect other people and their feelings by what you say to them? Right? Um, that's something to be watchful for. I'm telling you, we can work at this thing, this communication thing with other people, if we're conscious of what comes out of our mouth, if we're conscious of other people's feelings, if we're conscious of if they had said what they said, what I said to them, how would that make me feel? If you address things in that manner, man, it would come out much better. And if you take a little time, lower your voice, adjust your tone, it will come out better. People can hear things better if you soften your tone instead of yelling and doing all that stuff that many of us do, popping your neck, twisting your head around in circles and all that kind of stuff, looking like a scary movie. So be conscious and be aware of how you get out. Number 7, domestic side effects, blunt blower. Question: does the side effects from blunt blowing make you laugh, make you cry, or does the effects of blowing blunts make you want to live or make you want to die? Right? Domestic side effects, blunt blower. Question: does the side effects from the blunt blowing make you laugh, make you cry, or does the effects of blowing blunts make you want to live or want to die? Earlier, I had described that marijuana is what they call a downer, right? Cocaine is what they call an upper. In pharmacology, this was explained and taught to us and taught to the class. And it is known to bring on a form of depression, right? And it also brings on great depression and frustration when you don't have it, right? So this is a drug, and it's much more powerful of a drug than it has ever been. Back in the day, we laughed a lot of times. Very seldomly you ever heard somebody crying. We had different levels of weed, sesame, and they had the red fence, and they had some different stuff. But it wasn't this stuff they got now. We mostly were hungry. I can remember going over my friend's house because we was kind of low on groceries, or several friends' house. We found out who mama had some stuff to eat in the house, who mama had some leftovers. And if there was nothing else, if we just had some bread, poor folks didn't really have cinnamon, so we would get sugar and put the sugar on top of the bread and put it in the bottom of the oven and make it have that frosty cinnamon look on it, and it was good. We ate that bread to death. Y'all remember that? Yeah. So okay, we moving right on. We're gonna close this out. Number 8. Number 8. Domestic side effect. Are you ever concerned or affected by what people say who are always by your side? Or are you more affected by what people say behind your back, right? Are you worried about the side, or are you more concerned about the back, right? People talk more about, ooh, you talking behind my back, huh? You talking behind, and all that kind of stuff. But I think we also must be aware of all sides of ourselves and all sides within ourselves.